Hi folks, and welcome to DevTrends. Today we're gonna talk about new cool features available in latest versions of modern browsers like native ES model support, Web Share API, scroll-behaviour, WebUSB and payment request API. Let's start with Ecmascript modules. This is one of the major and long-awaited features of the new Ecmascript standard, which brings native code splitting, facilitates asynchronous loading and much more. It's been a while since we added ES models to our workflow via Babel, but this was essentially just a polyfill, and now we have truly native support came in Chrome and other browsers recently. So let's see how it works. So let's create some basic files like basic layout, index.html, our main JavaScript file. Here we create basic HTML layout, and let's save it. And here we create another one. We create a file that will be included in this index.html file. So let's call it helper.js, for example. And here we create some basic code. So let's create some logic to add a button on the page. So let's create element button, and let's add some text content to this button, and finally we append append this button to our document body. And after this we just return this button just in case. And now we head to our index.html file. Let's save it, and let's import add button, our newly created method, from helper.js. And here we just add new button. I call press me, for example. And then we switch to index.html, and here we include this newly created script by us. With special new type, it's called module type. And here we include our index.js file. So let's see how it works on the page. Let's switch to our terminal and serve this folder we created with all our files. And let's open here localhost 5000, and you can see our button is finally rendered. It's here, and let's check our elements panel. So it's here and rendered. So we can just add multiple buttons, and you can see we got 3 buttons here rendered, so it works fine in latest versions of modern browsers. Another feature, another implementation of this API is when you don't want to support modules in your script, you can just add some fallback script with no module attribute, and here you can write some random text, some random JavaScript, that you want to act as fallback if model API is not supported in your browser yet. So another cool feature of new Chrome is implementation of Web Share API. Before, when you needed to share something for mobile apps via web, you had to implement custom share buttons with pretty complicated and ugly UI. By the way, it was not far from pointless waste of time, as some studies say that social share buttons are pretty useless and unused. But now times have changed, as you can implement native like sharing functionality for your websites or web apps with simple and clean API, and let's see how it works. Let's utilize our created model structure, let's call this, and let's, for example, create some share button. Let's set a text, not press me, but for example share. Here we got share, and let's add listener to this button, one click, listener, click, and let's catch an event, and let's prevent default, just in case, and let's check for navigator share. This is the new method that implements Web Share API. So if it isn't supported in our browser, you won't be needed this code. And here let's make the call for this method, and it accepts object with following parameters, for example title, text, it means the description of what you want to share, and another parameter is URL. That would be just window location graph. And worth noting that navigator share method is a promise, so you can just make then and write some custom functionality in then method. It means that this functionality, this code will be run when user accepts share logic from your side. So when he clicks button and makes sharing, you in this block will get the code and will run the code that is implemented here. So if we now switch to browser, some unexpected token. Where is it? Here. Yeah. If we now click this button in our desktop browser, you can see that nothing really happens. But if you implement this logic and go to the site from mobile device, your mobile device will use this sharing functionality, and you will see the pop-up with share application from your mobile device. So it's working just that, and this is cool. Among other features available in latest Chrome and other browsers is new scroll-behaviour CSS property, with which you can add native smooth scrolling to a page. While often considered as bad practice for UX, this comes mostly from non-perfect implementation of smooth scrolling, causing unnecessary pains and clunky page navigation. Now, if you really need it, you can add native smoothness without performance downsides and with only one line of CSS. And let's see how it works. And let's take, for example, lodash.com. It has some nice docs with scrolling. And scroll behavior has two important things to keep in mind. Firstly, it doesn't apply to navigation caused by user, for example, scrolling with mouse or keyboard, but rather applies to programmatically caused actions and moving through anchors on one page or switching page in single-page applications, for example. So in Lodash documentation, you can see just that. So we can see our hash is changing here. And second things to keep in mind is you must apply scroll behavior property to scroll container itself. And let's see how it works. Let's open our DevTools. Let it be smaller. And let's select the container. This one. And let's add scroll behavior smooth. And let's check it. And you can see our site, our Lodash documentation is now smooth scrolled. You see that we get smoothness on scroll pretty easily, and that's it. It's performance friendly and maybe even UX friendly. It's up to you to decide whether to implement it on your site or application or not. Another new cool thing implemented in the latest browsers is WebUSB API. With WebUSB, you can connect and gain access to a wide range of USB devices with browser after you allow your browser to do that, of course. If you want deep dive into specification and to check some nice examples with Arduino and WebUSB and WebADB, all the links will be in the description below. Let's head to last but not least feature of new modern browsers is Payment Request API, which helps users to make payments without clutter and clunky custom forms in just 2 clicks. And let's see how it works. So let's switch to our Sublime and let's utilize our S-Models API we've already implemented. Let's remove this share button thing. And let's create payment button. And let's call it pay for things. Here we add listener as usual. Let's add click listener, and here we just in case prevent default. And here we check for new API method in window. It's not even method but constructor. It's called payment request. And here we create if it's available in our browser. Here we create new request with this method, payment method. And here is some pretty complicated parameters. So first parameter is an array for available methods. Let's add here the method called basic card. So it's your basic created card. And after this, okay, sorry, this is an object. So like this. Yeah, and another parameter is some options you can provide to further customize your form, like total, amount. Here we add currency, let be USD, and basic default value for amount. And after we created new request, we just call method show, which as well returns promise. And if everything okay and user confirms payment, here you can get all the payment data user has provided. And then if he cancels this payment, you can just catch an error, console log error, and see what's gone wrong. So I suppose I didn't miss anything. So let's see how it works on our index.html, on our local host. And you can see there is a new button appeared. That's good already. Required member support methods is undefined. Let's see what we did wrong. Supported, sorry. It's called supported. Let's reload. And you can see native payment form of Chrome browser is appeared. Here you can see your order summary, so currency, label we provide, and amount you want from your users to pay, and you can just add payment method here or utilize existing payment method from Chrome, and then you can just press pay, or you can just press cancel, and you can see the error which we cached right here. That's all about modern browsers and its new APIs. As you can see, they got a big update and keep pushing forward. But you should know that plenty of these features are also available in not only in Chrome but in other major browsers right now. So you can just go and use it. But don't forget about the polyfill as well. So that's all for today, folks. All the links will be in the description. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.